Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt-slinging and tire-slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Vliet.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And, man, I got to tell you, what a weekend for me, for you, for everyone. Lots of stuff happening, all kinds of things going down. I've got stories to tell. My partner in crime, Amy Hood, who is calling in hour number 2, definitely has some stories to tell. Going to be a great edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Kicking things off here in just a few minutes, we have Stephen Eugenio, last year's SCORE Trophy Truck champ. He's going to be calling into the show. We're going to be talking about the rigid Imperial Valley 250 that just went on this weekend, and talk about the Baja 1000, his SCORE Trophy Truck Championship, and the future for Mr. Stephen Eugenio. So should be a great interview. Definitely looking forward to having Stephen on air. Been a long time coming. And then hour number 2, got a whole hour booked off for this man, a guy that I've known for a while, but we're finally getting him on air, and one of the funniest guys you'll probably ever meet. We got a whole hour booked for him, and he took part in what we're going to get to with Amy Hood, but Mr. Street Bike Tommy is going to be calling in. We're going to be kicking off the Nitro Circus North American Tour, I believe, next week, so should be great catching up with Street Bike Tommy. That interview been a long time coming. We're going to talk some Terracross Charlotte, SCORE Imperial Rigid 250, also some news coming out of Red Bull Straight Rhythm. We got some Endurocross results to get to, and then we also have the Motocross of Nations event that went on this weekend. So lots to talk about. It's going to be a fun one. Not only that, I mean, what else happened? We had Blood Moon going on. I guess we got liquid water found on Mars. My Cardinals destroyed the 49ers and are 3-0. And Ronda Rousey actually liked one of my Instagram posts this morning. So I don't know, if you can wake up to Ronda Rousey liking one of your Instagram posts, you know it's going to be a good day, and that definitely happened to me. So going to be a fun one today. And, and first off, I guess we got to talk about this Rigid Industries SCORE Imperial Valley 250 that went on this weekend because it was just a great event. Third annual Imperial 250, that event there in the Imperial Valley. It's there's so many off-road teams there, so many off-road teams based out of there. Tons of teams out of San Diego come down and do their testing. And so it's the home event to a lot of drivers, and there's been a lot of smaller organizations over the years put on events there. I've gone and raced there. Took a second overall to Andy McMillan in an MDR race way back when, doing some testing in our trophy truck back when that thing was new. So I've driven there. I got to tell you, man, it is not it's not a cakewalk by any means. Anybody that can run up front or be successful there, it's definitely tough. Just rugged terrain out there, and it's not easy. But right now, Stephen Eugenio, your trophy truck champ from last year, calls in. How's everything going, Stephen?
Good. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, man. First off, we're just talking about, the Imperial 250 and, brought to you by Rigid Industries. Got to mention that. One of my sponsors, one of your sponsors. But this event for you, man, this is something special. I mean, this is your backyard.
Yeah, it really was. And then I went into the race knowing that this is going to be the last floor event there in Imperial Valley. And, last year I was leading the race at the same race, and, I had some misfortunes and ran out of gas. And, being a no-chase race, it took 2 hours to get me some fuel. So, our race is pretty much over. So, I went into this one wanting to redeem myself and, prove that this is my backyard and my domain. And, we were well on our way to doing that. We started next to Talo and Villadosa side by side, and he ended up pulling me out of the infield, and, about mile marker 1.5, I ended up passing him and pretty much checking out from there. So, but, misfortunes again. The race gods just didn't want me to win. We had about a 16-minute lead, and raced about 6-7 miles to go from the finish line. We ended up losing a motor.
Yeah. That had to have been heartbreaking, because I was in Charlotte racing razors as this event was going on, but I was keeping updates, and, all the text updates I'd got and everything I was seeing online, you had just checked out on the field. It was, you never want to say you're phoning it in off-road racing, because, it's not over till it's over, as we learned, but sounded like, you were just on point and the truck was working good. You just had such a huge lead.
No. You know what? My Glenda Motorsports Monster, BFG King Shock package, was just, lighting it up out there. And then, the sun goes down, and, my Rigid Industry Lights package is just phenomenal. It didn't slow us down. If anything, we might have been able to even pick up the pace at nighttime some. So, I was doing everything right, and then, my Dugan motor package was great. Putting power to the floor all the way to the last second. We think we broke a timing chain. So, and then we did everything right. What can you do? Like you said, it's racing, and it's just so sad though. 6-7 miles from the finish, we were already in cruise mode. We just figured we'd just pretty much limp it in from there, and but just all of a sudden something lets go like that. It's uncontrollable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's skip back to last year. 2014. You come into Trophy Truck. Obviously you walk away champion. Against some of the best teams in the business. You got your first Trophy Truck victory. Take us through last year, because that had to have been a bit surreal. Taking a victory is one thing, but taking the whole championship. You had to have been super stoked. With the way things turned out last year.
Yeah, no, we really, it was, honestly unbelievable. For me to ever think I was actually going to make it into Trophy Truck, and then 2, to actually think I was going to get a Trophy Truck win, and then 3, a championship on top of it. We just, we raced smart all last year, and, we went into the Imperial Valley short course race, 5th in points, the same as where we stand now. We ended up winning that one and walked out in second. We pretty much were going to do the same thing this weekend if the cards fell our way. But, sure enough, they didn't.
Yeah. Let's talk about the off-season changes, because a lot of teams. You guys did something. To me, it was a great move on your part. But a lot of teams, that are walking away from a championship like you guys. You took victories. Obviously, you guys were one of the front-running teams. A lot of people are like, all right, we're gonna stay put. We got our program is great. Our package is good. We're gonna go into next year and try and repeat. This off-season, you added in a second driver. World-renowned driver, and now you guys form a two-person team. For longer races than that, it's got to be, pretty exciting, for you heading into this year with the changes you guys made.
Yeah, we went into the end of the year, and then, it was a combination of different things, but bringing Armin Schwartz on was, we think it was a great move. He brings a lot to the table, a lot of big corporate sponsors. He brings a lot of knowledge, things that I can learn from as a driver and better myself, becoming more of an actual professional driver. And then he's taught me quite a bit of things. I was able to go over to Finland and drive some rally stuff over there on the ice with him, which was just an amazing trip and, humbling experience. So, but I really got to see him and his element and what really happens. And man, it's just unbelievable, what World Rally is all about. It was to be able to watch him drive in his element was really amazing.
Yeah, there's something special because I spent a lot of time around rally cars, just hosting events and then driving as well. But to me, the top-level rally guys, and you can probably attest to this, I mean, us at desert racers, I've always felt like you can be really fast but still be a little bit sloppy at times. It seems like the precision of rally drivers and a guy like Armin or a front-running, rally driver, just the precision and how they can hit their marks in, it's such speed and such tight, corners. To me, it's remarkable.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really, we look at our average speeds and, obviously we're dealing with way different elements, in off-road, especially in Baja. We do have fast sections, but we do also have a lot of tight sections. But, we're talking about our normal average speed is 60 miles an hour, where in a rally car, their average speed is 90 miles an hour. I mean, and yes, the precision on the roads, I mean, you think about it in averages of those speeds, it's like you better be right on point or stuff is not going to go your way. So, yeah, and then it's truly, humbling to be able to go and experience that and watch them, and take in everything that they were, what they do as well for a living. It's just, Armin actually, when I went over there, I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to go over and I'm going to kill it over here, and that wasn't the case. I went over and I was like, wow. So it took me a few days to get it, but walked away with, I think that driving off road transfers over really well to rally. We do also, as you well know, we get a lot of rally time really on the road. So, it's just a, matter of putting it all together and, changing making changes the way they do to get into their element. But I think it's a decent crossover.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially, there's some roads that come to my mind down in Baja and stuff, some of the technical, roads that are, pretty fast, but you've got to be really close. And, it's just precision driving at its best. And I think there's a lot of crossover there. But I got to ask, I know, he's one, us off-road guys, we've brought in GPS, I don't know, about 15 years ago, and we've always had co-drivers. But, I know Armin was one of the first to bring in, rally-style notes into the program. Are you trying to adapt those as well, or are you keeping it, the way we've traditionally done it?
No. Actually, when my navigator was part of the Baldwin team for 5 years, so, and I know BJ normally runs a somewhat rally-style note system. So when I brought Steve Covey in and he started riding with me, I was always driving a single-seater. So I never had real GPS or any kind of co-rider to help, with reading terrains or anything like that, calling notes. So I pretty much told me, hey, I don't know any about it, so why don't you just teach me what you have? So, I learned his, and it's pretty similar to what Armin runs, except for now that after I went and ran with Starman, I've introduced distances, which we didn't do before. That's the only thing. We were calling the same style rally notes, except for we weren't using distances, and now we are. And I think it's an advantage, and it's really helped my program.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's funny because, you think back 10 years ago and nobody would ever even consider this. And now, to see these notes being integrated into, into the, elite levels off-road, I think it's pretty cool. And I think it says a lot about how far our sports come, that we're to the point where we're running those speeds where we actually need those notes in in an unlimited vehicle.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that, the rally notes are really great, but you also have to, take those with a grain of salt. You got to be smart about the way you use them. And then if you're completely running off the full rally note itself, you're taking some serious chances of hurting yourself, hurting your navigator, because the element's a lot different in off-road. And, it's unique. It's one of a kind. We never see anything like it anywhere else. Where rally, they're running pretty much graded roads and dust-free. Yeah. So you take, put all the whoops in it, put all the terrain changes in it, and then add the dust factor as well. And, it's completely different. And then, because at times, you're trying to make passes and you're just pretty much driving blind, which, if you knew the road was graded, it's a whole different thing. But, just as well, in off-road, things change all the time. Whoops develop, rocks get kicked out into the course, and it's just completely different. So you just have to be really smart about the way you use them.
Yeah. Well, and I got to ask you, as far as your driving style, I know, you're a guy that's driven a lot of different vehicles in the desert, and I know talking about single seaters and, spent a lot of time in buggy ranks. I mean, how is it I've talked to, Mark and Gary Wyrick before and a lot of guys who have gone from, from super fast buggies into the trucks. And sometimes there's a transition, sometimes there's not at all. And, a lot of guys, feel like the trucks are almost a little bit easier to drive than buggies. But how was that transition from you, into trucks, because you've driven so many different vehicles in off-road?
Well, first of all, I started off racing, motocross and supercross, and I think that right there, and, being from a desert town, riding in the desert all the time on motorcycles really was my edge above everything else, learning how to read terrain. And it just adapt. And then, starting at 16 cars, which, you're talking about momentum, because you're taking a car with 75 horsepower and trying to go as fast as you can go. So you don't have power on your side to help it. So, everything is using line choice and momentum, and then so on and so on. But the truck, I got in and I did, I would say, pretty well my first time. But it was different. Weight transfers are different. You also have, 36 inches of wheel travel versus 20 in the rear. So, and then now you're moving the motor to the front from the back. So weight transfer in the vehicle is, much different. So, but I want to say I do actually think I'm probably better at driving a truck than I was at anything. I mean, I've adapted well, and I think that, I'm doing a good job at it.
Yeah, well, I think you're being pretty modest, my friend. You've taken a win in Trophy Truck, which not a lot of people have done, and a championship, so I would say you're doing pretty darn well myself. But, looking at the rest of this year, obviously the big one left. We got the Baja 1000 coming up. How are you guys, coming off of this? I mean, how are you guys preparing for that? How much time are you going to be able to put down in Baja? I mean, pre-running and taking notes and what's the lead up to there and what are the plans for Baja?
Well, that's, we are, we're a really small trophy truck team. We're new at this. So, we're trying to become bigger and better our team. But with that comes, the small time frame from this race to the 1000 is 5 to 6 weeks. And, we got to go to Vegas and qualify. So, we just got to make sure everything's all lined up perfectly so we can get down, we can get to SEMA show. We could do that event and get our pre-running involved as well. So, it's as soon as the course comes out, we'll be able to really start on our logistic planning and get an idea how we're going to do it. But I think we have an idea how we want to run it. We were really hoping for this win here because it would have put us back in second, tied with Tavo for the points going into the 1000, which would have been a lot of momentum and a great chance at a back-to-back championship, which now, we got to step back and look and say, okay, we're a little bit out of the point lead. So from here on out, it's all about winning the 1000. We're going into it not worried about a championship anymore. Right now, the full focus is winning the Baja 1000.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like regardless of the points, you walk away with, with a Baja 1000 win. And, and a lot of times that speaks for itself and sometimes even more than, say, a points championship. So, definitely would be a huge way to cap off 2015 for you guys to take a victory there.
Yeah, and then we've won a championship now. It would be awesome to win a back-to-back championship. Obviously the first one is one thing, but doing two in a row is a whole nother. But right now, I don't have a Baja 1000 win in my name, and I think this is a great year. I think we have a good team. We have an awesome package. So I think that we have a real shot at this Baja 1000.
Yeah. Well, and how has it been for you guys? I mean, you guys, it seems like, obviously bringing in Armin, you guys, brought in some of his sponsors. I mean, going into this year, though, I mean, off a championship, I mean, it had been a pretty fun offseason for you. I mean, obviously you brought in Rigid Industries as one of your sponsors. Monster Energy signed you, I believe, to a helmet deal. I mean, it was a pretty big offseason for you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have, we had some changes, but definitely for the better. The sponsors that we're picking up, we've brought on has definitely contributed to our team, and I believe it's completely helped our programs tremendously. So, yeah, I mean, now we're just going to focus on getting everything ready for the 1,000. Obviously, there's not very much time to do any more testing and more development to better anything, but I do have one thing coming onto the truck that's going to be different for the 1,000. I'm not ready to announce what it is yet, but I definitely think it's going to be help as a game changer, and people are going to see the difference. So the surprise will be brought out at the 1,000.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to 2016. Obviously, I'm assuming we're gonna see you back in trophy truck. Any chance you gonna do anything else? I know you've been one that's I think eyed Dakar before. I mean, what are the plans for beyond 2015?
Talking about Dakar, I ended up winning the Dakar Challenge at the 500 this year, and we're working on a package right now. We're working with Monster and Rigid to see if we can actually put something together. As of right now, it's really up in the air. I would really like to go. I think I could, do really well over there. With the terrain reads and everything like that, it seems like it's a real good fit for me. Whether or not I get the opportunity, I think I'm going to at least try to get over there and, experience it and see what it's all about. And, hopefully, if not this year, hopefully have a shot at it. But it's definitely something that I want to look forward to.
Yeah, it's anybody I've talked to that's gone down there, it's just, they say it really is, whether you're just going to watch or going to actually compete, it's life-changing. I mean, obviously your cousin Art, he went down last year, and I was able to talk with him at Parker right afterwards, and I mean, he was just ear-to-ear grin, just like, this is amazing, and it's something I definitely want to get down there and just be able to take in the experience.
Yeah, talking about Art, he's been behind me my whole career, and been there at every race with me, and he's actually the one that really started making this push. He was actually talking about it before before I won the Dakar Challenge, saying that Stephen, hey, you need to get over there. You need to find a way to do this race. He was like, this race fits you, fits your style, fits everything you're about. He's like, he thinks that I have a really good shot at it. And so, that's what pretty much started, looking into it. Like I said, whether or not we get the opportunity this year, hopefully it's not this year, hopefully in the near future, but it's definitely something that I'm a goal that I would like to get.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see more desert racers down there and give it a shot. And I think, it just seems like it's one of those events where it takes some time. I mean, one, to put a program together, and then once you get there, it takes a year or two of growth to finally get where you're, driving at that level. It's like the first year you just have to go in and run and figure out how everything's working before you can actually go and compete, Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I don't think I would go in there the first year and just come out with a win or anything. But I definitely think, it'd be a great learning experience. And then, but I do feel like I could do well enough that, I'd be able to, represent sponsors well enough and prove myself to think that I could get a second and third shot at it. So that would be the ultimate goal. Yeah, well, I completely agree with you, and I think it's getting, I'm excited that it seems like the past couple of years, the door of opportunity is open more and more, especially with this new, Dakar Challenge that Scores put together for a guy like you to step in there and go, hey, us guys from this side of the world, we can go to Dakar and we can compete as well, and I think it's pretty remarkable what Roger's done with Dakar to open doors where a guy like you, where say 5-10 years ago, I mean, unless you just had a boatload of money, there was no chance you could ever go over there. Now that door's somewhat opened a little bit, so a guy like you can go and jump in and compete.
Well, yeah, and that's the good thing, with corporate sponsors nowadays. It's a lot of publicity and a lot of advertising there in the motorsports industry. So, and a lot of people, that's a good thing. With Roger's package and his media and TV package, and the sponsors that are coming on board, he's bringing a lot to the table, and everybody's stepping up and bringing money. So, and that's what we need. I mean, I really feel that the off-road racing is a true professional sport. I mean, it's just, getting people involved more and more. So, and I think he's on the right track. So, I mean, I'm already feeling it this year. I mean, where last year, we had no budget, actual budget from sponsors. We have actually brought in quite a bit this year. So, I mean, we're definitely feeling it.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to hear, when guys are bringing in more money than they did the previous year, because a lot of times it's just the opposite. Man, I don't have any money to race this year. So, I know it's expensive, but you guys are doing a tremendous job, in promoting yourself, running up front, and, props to you guys. It seems like, things are definitely looking forward. And got anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank all my fans, everybody for coming out, especially, God first and foremost for giving me the talent and, keeping me safe out there all the time. But yeah, and all my sponsors for really, stepping up and always taking care of me and being behind my back and supporting me 100%. Glenda Motorsports, Monster Energy, Rigid Industries, King Shocks, BFG Tires, Method, Wheels, the list goes on and on. But I don't want to forget anybody. My cousin Art for always being there, taking care, get some photo. He's got all my advertising. He does all my marketing for me. And then all of the sponsors that Armin's brought in this year, Ibach, Remus, DM Tricon, K&N Filters, they're ones that definitely have been with me for a long time, and they, really supported me. So.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, and good luck. I know you guys got some work to do before the 1,000, but here's hoping we see you on top of the box at the Baja 1000, my friend.
All right. Hopefully I'm there and I can call back afterwards to talk about that.
Absolutely. Anytime. Just hit me up. We'll get you on air.
Okay, Jim. Thank you very much, and thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks a lot, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Stephen Eugenio, your 2014 score trophy truck champ, running that number 1 plate, and man, he was running up front at the rigid Imperial Valley Desert Challenge there, Imperial 250, but tough break right before the finish. Just from what I understand, just checked out on the field. Always a tough break, but the past couple of years he has been one of the front runners in score and trophy truck. They've got that program dialed in, and definitely going to be a threat at the Baja 1000, and just a good guy. And like I've always said, I got a lot of respect for a guy like Stephen, who he's come from not a lot, and worked his way to the top, and you got to respect a guy like that. He's put in the time. He's paid his dues, and now he's up there running up front, and and doing a darn good job of it. So great interview with Stephen. Talking, man, that was a solid interview, man. Lots of fun, and talking a little bit of rally, and and gosh, it was all good. But talking about the Rigid Industries Imperial Valley 250, we got some results here. And happening this weekend, Imperial Valley. It's going to be the last year, I guess, score runs. It definitely a bummer there outside of El Centro. Just a great hotbed for off-road, and I don't know if they just haven't been able to pick the right date or what, but just a great venue to have desert racing, and and I know somebody will step in, and they'll definitely put on some races there now with Score moving on to some other things in 2016, but definitely a bummer that this will be the last time Score runs there, at least in the near future. But anyways, Score trophy truck, Tavo Vidosla Jr. ended up taking the win. Lalo Laguna second, James Bolt third, and just a tough break for Stephen Eugenio, having a solid effort, and just a few miles from the finish, but that is off-road. Anything can and will happen. Class 1 winner, Shelby Reed, Brady Turner second, Jamie Huerta in third, 1-2-1600, Johnny Burnworth taking the win there. Skipping down to Class 10, and your winner was Todd Winslow. Looking at Trophy Truck Spec, Larry Connor taking the win there. Chad Broughton taking the Class 3000 win. And In UTV action, we had Wayne Matlock taking the win in his Polaris RZR. Scott McFarland taking second in his Polaris RZR. And got to tell you, Scott McFarland, another Terracross racer, also doing double duty in the desert. And we had Derek Murray in third, Johnny Angle in that Turbo RZR, and my buddy Brandon Sims in fourth, and then Corey Sappington rounding out your top five. Motorcycles, we had Mark Samuels taking the win in open class, Colton Udall second. Class 30, it was Morgan Crawford. Class 40, Jano Montoya taking the win there. Class 50, no finishers. Pro Quad, it was Josh Rowe and Roberto Villalobos taking home the win. Sportsman Quad, Juan Dominguez, and those are your winners. So, interesting note here. Trophy Truck, first overall. Todd Winslow in a Class 10, moving into second overall. And then Larry Connor in a Trophy Truck Spec, third overall. So, quite a mix there of different classes in the overall. It was definitely a grueling race there at Imperial Valley, at the Rigid Industries Imperial Valley 250. But stoked to see that race go off yet another year. So we are going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we are going to be talking about some Terracross in Charlotte, some straight rhythm, and some enduro cross, and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just got done with SCORE Trophy Truck champ Stephen Eugenio in an interview that definitely has been a long time coming. Great talking with him, and man, this is a guy that truly has burst onto the trophy truck scene and rattled some cages, taking home the championship last year and also a race win, and neither one of those very easy feats. To do them both in your rookie trophy truck year, definitely worth noting. That's for darn sure. Me, it was quite a weekend. Yeah, it was definitely quite a weekend. Let's just put it that way. Charlotte Terracross. I was flying cross country to that. My partner in crime, Amy Hood, who will have in hour number 2, she was flying cross country, not going to Charlotte to the Terracross experience that I was doing. She was going back to Pastrana Land to learn how to backflip a dirt bike. By now, all of you have seen her social media. She was able to do it into the foam pit. So I guess I'm sure the next gradual step in the process would be to move it into dirt or the resi or something like that. But anyways. Yeah, great weekend, but there is a story I got to share before we get to more, because once in a while in travel, just something absolutely nutty, insane happens, and you just got to talk about it on air, and that was the case on my flight home from Charlotte. So, I had enough frequent flyer miles. I'm like, well, I'm not buying a ticket to go back and do this. Let's cash those in and get some free flights, right? So you cash in your frequent flyer miles, and what that means is you get the crummiest seat on the airplane, right? So I was middle row on the way there, whatever. Then on the way back, we get done. I go to the airport, and my ticket doesn't even have a seat on it. They go, you got to go in and talk with the ticket agent. All right, so we go in and talk with the lady at the gate. She gives me, you're the last person on this plane. I said, what are you talking about? Well, if it gets booked, we kick you off and whatever. So anyways, I'm the last row of the plane, back by, the toilets, not the ideal spot to be, and in the middle. So last row in the middle, absolute worst spot you could ever want on an airplane. That's where I was sitting, and it's 3-hour and 40-minute flight from Charlotte to Phoenix. Great. I've got some long legs, and I'm crammed in there, and at least the older lady and the girl to my right were decent enough company, right? So we're sitting there. In comes this lady, last one to board, right? Absolutely, she was nuts. She was absolute nuts. She was in the row in front of us, and she wasn't the last person to board, but she was one of the last people. She was in the last group, right? She comes down the aisle, and she's complaining She's absolutely complaining the whole time about how she's going to sue the airline and sue this. And I guess when they're going down the ramp or something like that, she threw herself out of the wheelchair and was blaming the airline, saying that they dumped her out on purpose going down the ramp. And that she was going to sue them and all this, and they've hurt her, and she's got all these disabilities, and she's sue, right? So anyways, somehow she's yelling at these people and the flight attendants and everything else. They get her to the row in front of us, and they put her in there, right? This is a packed flight. No empty seats. For some reason, this row hadn't been filled yet, though, right? So she goes and she lays down across the 3 seats, and they say, well, you need to take your seat. She says, I'm taking this entire row. You dumped me on my face. You could have given me brain damage and all this other stuff. And so they put her in the seat, and she says, I'm taking all 3 of these. You can either put me in first class or give me this entire row, but that's all there is to it because you've treated me so awful. And they go, well, if you want first class, you got to pay for that. We're already booked. They're like, you can't just have an entire row. She says, I'm laying here because I can't sit up straight. So anyway, she gets defiant. At that point, they're like, whatever. So the people, they walk off, and we're just sitting here like, whoa, is this lady for real? So then they send 2 more people down there, or they send the people that are supposed to sit there in those seats. So the first girl comes in, and the lady goes, so you're going to be sitting here? And, she'd never met her. And she goes, yeah, this is my seat. So she sits on the outside. This other lady's got the 2 seats, right? I go, man, this is interesting. And she's like, well, I can still lay down with 2. And she's got her feet all over this poor girl that's sitting in the aisle seat. And it was just, we're like, man, come on. So anyways, the next guy comes down that's supposed to have the middle seat. And this lady goes, well, I'm not moving for him. I need at least 2 seats. And he goes, well, this is my seat. So finally, they send all these flight attendants down there, everything else. They end up literally bringing security down. They leave the lady on the flight. They get her in her one seat, and she starts making all these demands. I want water. I want this snack, and I want that. So I don't know why they didn't throw her off the plane. We're delayed by an hour. This whole scene goes on for an hour, right? Oh, and it gets better, let me tell you. And I don't tell stories like this on air very often, but I just had to tell this story because it's so nuts. So anyways, they get her on in her seat. We're an hour delayed. Finally, the pilot comes over the intercom and says, I promise you guys, this is a late flight. We were supposed to take off at 8 o'clock. It was now 9 o'clock. We were delayed by an hour. And he's like, I promise you we'll still get to Phoenix on time. And I'm like, how do you make up an hour in the air unless you just drop the hammer, right? This is an 3 hour and 40-minute flight, right? So anyways, we take off. Literally 2.5 hours, 2.5 hour flight. Probably the shortest flight in history as far as commercial airliners go from Charlotte to Phoenix. The guy was on point, man. Hammer was dropped, 2.5 hour flight. We were in Phoenix. I was impressed. Anyways, we go to get off the plane now, and this crazy chick is still sitting in front of me. Everybody leaves, and somehow we're in the last row. She's in the row before. They tell her, we'll bring a wheelchair down and help you out and all this. And she starts screaming at him, I don't want a wheelchair. You've already dumped me out and this and that. Well, come to find out, she's got probably a 2-year-old son and a husband sitting like 5 rows in front of us. And he literally walks back. She starts screaming at people. He walked out on his wife, walked out, took off the ramp, and was checked out on the plane, left her there screaming and yelling at everybody, right? So they bring a wheelchair down. She says, absolutely not. I'm not going to sit in a wheelchair. Anyways, she goes, she takes 2 steps to walk up, and we're still sitting there. And I'm going, gosh, we're in the back of the plane. This can take forever for her to walk out of here. And, it ended up taking longer than forever for her to walk out of there because she took 2 steps and goes, because you dumped me out and I'm so disabled, I cannot even walk. I'm crawling out of here. No joke. The lady gets on her hands and knees and crawls up the aisle from the back of the plane. She has her purse, and she keeps throwing it up there, and then she'd crawl up to her purse. She'd throw the purse farther, and at this point, we're all standing there. All the airline attendants are standing there, and we're laughing because I've never seen a spectacle like this in my life. I've got pictures of her. I'll post them up on social media because at this point, it was so comedic. She needs to be thrown under the bus. But she literally crawled off the plane from the back row. I've never seen anything like it, and she was cussing, screaming, It was obscenities. I mean, I swear, if you could have charged admission to watch this, I guess they did because I paid. I guess my flyer miles did, but it was just absolutely the nuttiest thing I've ever seen. The lady should have never been on the flight. They should have taken her off. I don't know. But her husband walked out on her. No idea where the husband and the kid are. I probably would have walked out on her too. She was nuts. Yeah, she had disabilities, but it wasn't the physical kind, let me tell you. She was not all there upstairs. Anyways, not that you wanted to know about my flight, but it got to the point where the entire plane, the poor 6 saps in the back row who had to follow this lady out of the plane, and the pilot and all the attendants, we were all laughing because it was so bizarre. I know they probably broke professional code, but this one deserved it. So U.S. Airways, if you're listening in, all those flight attendants ought to be exempt because it was comedy, and I don't care if you're the president of U.S. Airways, you would have laughed. It was so funny your husband walked out on her. Let's put it that way. Anyways, we're going to get on with some real talk here, but tweet me. I always like to know your travel stories. At JimBeaver15, hit me up. One, if you got any questions for Street Bike Tommy or Amy Hood later on in the show, but two, I want to know your funniest travel moment because that is definitely got to take the cake as mine. Probably the most bizarre, but anyways, yeah. Yeah, so Terracross Charlotte. I guess we should talk about Terracross Charlotte now that I have absolutely blown 10 minutes of radio telling you my flight story. But yeah, Terracross Charlotte. It was a rainy one. That's it. This was a non-points exhibition race. I guess we're going to have a to-be-determined date, makeup race date, which what I'm hearing, it's going to be really exciting. You guys are going to love that if you're fans of Terracross Championship. This is non-televised, but we ended up having a full grid of drivers, men and women. They ended up mixing the women in with the men because there wasn't a full grid of female drivers. I think we had 12, 14 total drivers, something like that. We had some guys DNF out, and so I think everybody ended up making the main, something like that. Anyways, yeah, I took a third in my heat, solid. I was all over the back of the second place finisher. I think it was just I had no passing opportunity. I got to tell you though that they definitely had a dented bumper, but. It was it was solid heat race. The track, though, we got to talk about that. It rained all day Thursday, all day Friday, and a lot of the day on Saturday when we were actually racing. So it was a muddy mess. That's the easiest way to put it. Definitely a muddy mess, and that's what it's great about Terracross. It's was it tough, rough, muddy, entertainment. Well, it was definitely muddy. That takes the cake. So we had to adjust some of the jumps, like the big doubles and stuff. You couldn't double because you couldn't get the traction in the run up. So they backed it down a bit, kind of made them where you could roll the doubles. Most of us were still hitting them and kind of casing them. We knew we'd case, but it was quicker to case them than just roll them. So, but it definitely muddy, and man, it was a lot of backing into corner, short course style, and really throwing them around to get traction to get around these corners. You definitely could use a handbrake on this corner or this course, but they actually had a GRC wooden box jump from the pass that we actually hit. Was pretty cool. Still had the Mystic Mangler, big rhythm whoop section, but super muddy. But great racing. Main event. I started. What was I? Third row, I think, inside corner or inside of the third row. So I was the pole position of the third row, right? And it was chaos. I went through in the first 2 corners. I went through 2 tear-offs. It was just I couldn't see anything. And you look at the pictures; everybody's just completely covered. My race uniform, it definitely reeks. But yeah, I need to order some new tear-offs before the next round. That's for sure. But yeah, I ended up Cole Coutu. My buddy Cole ended up taking the win. But everybody had a blast. I mean, what we thought might be an eventual rain out for the whole thing definitely didn't happen, and and it ended up just being a tremendous event. Lots of fun. Not a huge fanfare because of the rain. It was live streamed. Fan Choice TV live streamed it. I guess we had quite a few online viewers, from what I understand. But yeah, lots of fun. Like I said, not going to be televised, so you're going to miss that one. But next up, we're hoping late October, early November, be able to make an announcement on a race very soon. But you guys are going to love the venue, and there's going to be a lot of fans there in attendance. Let me tell you, if they announce the one I think they're going to announce. But Terracross Charlotte, I had fun. Everybody that was there had an absolute blast. It just, it was a bit different. It was a muddy one, but a fun course. Lots of passing opportunities, except for in the case of me when I finally caught the person in front of me. It is what it is, and definitely looking forward to moving on to the next round. But had a ton of fun with that, and got to talk a little bit of endurocross now. Endurocross, they kind of got their. It's like they take a break over the summer almost, but they're firing things up for the fall. And Sacramento this weekend, our winners, Webb taking the win. We had Taylor Robert, one of Arizona's favorites, my fellow Arizona boy down there in Phoenix, does a lot of training out at Destry Abbott's. Had him as a guest going into X Games with Amy and myself. But Taylor Robert finishing up in second, and then Colton Haker finishing up in third. And then in the women, it was Rachel Gudish, Lexi Pachute, and Sandra Gomez as your 1, 2, and 3. And then lots of two-wheel stuff coming at you. We had Motocross of Nations in France this weekend, and race number 1. This is where they pit U.S. and all the different countries against each other. One of my favorite events of the year. But U.S. Justin Barsha taking race 1 win. A Russian rider. Evgeny, and I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, took home second. Max Nagy in third from Germany. Marvin Musquin from France, fourth. Jeremy Martin, fifth in race number 1. Race number 2 was Romain Febre from France, Cooper Webb, and then Marvin Musquin 1, 2, and 3. Race 3, it was Romain again from France taking the win. Ben Townley from New Zealand, and Justin Barsha, your 1, 2, and 3. So that puts the overall situation where France ended up taking home the win, the United States in second, and then Belgium in third, Estonia fourth, Switzerland fifth. But I got to say, the U.S. Only missing that victory by 2 points. Huge gap back to Belgium in third, 40 points back from the U.S., but U.S. so close to taking home the overall victory. So definitely a bummer. Couldn't make that happen, but one of my favorite events of the year. And then we also got to talk Red Bull Straight Rhythm. Red Bull Straight Rhythm going down this weekend. Not this weekend, coming up, but Red Bull announcing the rider list, and it's basically who you thought in 250s. They got an open shootout for the last 250 spots, so I guess an amateur could sneak in there if you're fast on a 250. All that info's up on Red Bull's website. Just search it. I think it's pretty cool. They're opening the door to take. Normally this is an invitation only event, but they're opening the door there to take just about anybody that's fast enough that can qualify in for those last 2 spots on a 250. I think that's really, really cool. Open class, though, the big one, the exciting news, the one everybody's been waiting for, because this is non-FIM sanctioned, non-AMA sanctioned, James Bubba Stewart. He is back. He is back in action, and you got to think he's going to be back with a vengeance. Those of you who follow him on social media, ever since his whole deal happened at the start of the year, and whether he did or did not use performance enhancing, we're not even talking steroids, we're talking Adderall here. But whether he did, whether he didn't, at this point, it's water under the bridge. James Stewart has made me a fan. I know I've, in the past, we've had a little love-hate relationship on air once in a while. I'm going to be honest with you. But he has made me a fan. He has kept his head down, hasn't said a word since all these allegations, and he has gone to work. He has stayed quiet, and he has been training like nobody's business. I'm going to make a prediction. Red Bull Straight Rhythm, James Bubba Stewart is going to be your winner. And I'm going to say that next year when he's eligible to run Supercross again, the boy is going to be a force. But those are my predictions, but he will be in Red Bull Straight Rhythm, so it's definitely going to be exciting. That's for sure. So huge news that he will definitely be back. So we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, Street Bike Tommy is going to be calling in. Also have Amy Hood in hour number 2 at some point as well. So lots more to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. So definitely hang tight, because we got a lot more coming at you.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners, and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies, adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Man, we are jumping right into things. Had Stephen Eugenio on earlier. I've been telling you kind of some crazy travel stories, but right now my next guest needs no introduction. Mr. Street Bike Tommy. How's everything going, Tommy?
Oh, what it is. You know, just doing some filming out here in Maryland.
Well, I gotta tell you, buddy, and we're gonna kick things off and get really deep into conversation here because I just had some crazy travel story coming home from Charlotte. I gotta ask you, what is your craziest travel story?
I mean, dude, that's really, really hard. Yeah, I could talk your ear off for 3 days on that one. But it normally happens in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the road, man. We get into a lot of trouble. I don't know if I'm allowed to say half of it on the radio.
I can only imagine, dude, the travel stories that the Nitro Circus crew has.
Yeah, well, me especially. Everybody else is kind of tame, but I tend to turn her on a little bit.
I can. I never would have figured, dude. Never would have figured you'd be one to ramp it up a notch, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's just pretty much the usual offenders, man. Me and Crum, we get into quite a bit of trouble. Crum's, he likes to get naked a lot. I don't understand like why. But he's running around naked quite a few places, and we actually get away with a lot, man. Like I feel like we do so much stuff that the shock value just you get from the authorities. You get the hey kid, just get out of here. Like they don't want to do the paperwork, you know.
Yeah. Well, what was it? I was watching something a while back, and it was with Steve-O from Jackass, and he was saying that like he used to go out, you know, and this was back when he was kind of in his dark period, and he's like, I used to go out and see if I could get arrested, like see how bad I could push the limits, and he's like, dude, he's like, I got away with so much because they just didn't want to hassle with it.
Yeah, no, I do, and I'll tell you, it's amazing how true of a statement that is, because you'd be surprised how lazy our law enforcement gets sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, it's like they're going to end their shift in 10 minutes, and they're like, "Oh man, this is going to take 30. I just want to get home. All right, we'll see you later. You know, just take it easy, man."
Let me start by saying I don't blame them.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to deal with Street Bike Tommy in
oh no,
when you're in the zone.
Yeah, and especially we diffuse our situations pretty easily. Like most of our stuff is kind of like really funny. We're not really hurting anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely it's not like we're out doing bad things. It's just you know, the stuff that's not really looked highly upon.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, man. So, man, we got a ton to talk about. You're out there doing some filming. I know you guys are getting ready to kick off the North American tour, the fall tour here. Next week?
Yes, sir. We're starting in Washington, D.C., my hometown, and really looking forward to this U.S. tour because it does bounce in and out of Canada quite a bit, and we're going up north and then back down to California. So, I mean, it's going to be a well-rounded tour of weather.
Yeah, you know, one thing I was looking at the dates on the shows and stuff. Seems like sometimes you guys have like a lot of back-to-back shows, you know what I mean, like one day right after another. Seems like this, because the distance between venues, at least you guys are getting, seems like, you know, it's not every other night, you know what I mean? You guys sometimes are getting 1 or 2 days off in between.
Well, we don't really get, well, let me rephrase. I don't get any days off. Me and a few other people that work with the TV side of things, we're constantly filming on our days off, and like if we're not doing that, we're normally doing press. Like we go to and from the venues beforehand, and after, talk to people and get a real good feel for the area. We normally talk to people, you know, at the bars and figure out what's really cool to do in the area. Like if you got one local that pops by and is like, dude, you'll never believe what's down the street, and then we go find it, and that's how half the stuff gets filmed.
Yeah, it's totally unscripted. It's just literally that's what you guys go out and do, right?
Yeah, we drive the corporate guys nuts because they want like treatments and what are you going to do exactly? How long is it going to take? And we're like, I don't know, just give me a thumb crew. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like this show. I had somebody at one point, it was somebody who was looking at picking up the show, and they're like, "Well, you know, sometimes you guys, I keep it PG-13. You know, once in a while we may cross the edge or something, but you know." And I had somebody saying, "Well, you know, do you have like a show outline? I mean, you know, something you could send us, you know, before every show, and we can kind of see things." And you know, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, I've got some times when we're going to take a break. And like I said, right now, I've got a 30-minute segment. It just says Street Bike Tommy. You know, I'm like, I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I don't script the questions, man. It's all shoot from the hip and let's roll with it, you know?
I mean, how would you know? I mean, that would be so difficult to even, like, you know, even if you speculate, you're going to get in more trouble for not knowing what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go back to the beginnings, man, because I mean let's talk about the legend of Street Bike Tommy, because you know, obviously you know, I kind of know the story, but I think all the listeners want to know, how did you get the name Street Bike Tommy? I mean, by now everybody's seen the video you jumping into the pit or over the pit, right?
Yeah, I mean it all happened kind of like right around that time. That was right when I first started hanging out with Travis. Was after I did that crash. I was hanging out with Jim DeChamp and Special Greg because they were both Travis's roommates at the time. And Jim DeChamp started dating a longtime friend of mine, Stephanie. And we used to always have parties back in the day at her house. And Jim came over and he had this little DVD in his possession that said Nitro Circus and Sharpie on it. And he popped it on for a party, and all my friends were like, "Oh man, Jim's so cool. He's the coolest, craziest guy ever. He's so cool." And I was just like, "No, man. Like, I'm way cooler than that." You know, I got jealous. You know, like I want my friends to be talking about me, not Jim. You know.
Yeah.
So I casually talked a little smack to Jim, and we started hanging out, and he invited me over to Travis's a few times, and then I guess I wore him down because he invited me to shoot for Nitro Circus 2. And I was like, all right, man, yeah, open game. So Travis had a contest who could come up with the best footage. It didn't have to be, you know, riding footage, which was great for me because I suck. So my great idea was jumping, you know, one of, because there's some lost tapes that we do not mention. But that day we did a few things, but that's when I decided to jump my street bike and ended up going over the pit. And that's when I actually truly met Travis for the very first time, because he was coming down the hill at his own house, and he saw some kid on a street bike over top a shed, which is a huge shed. Keep in mind, this houses buses and all kinds of things. And he freaked out a little bit, went to see who it was, you know, see if I was alive. I was, couldn't breathe, shook his hand, hey, what's up, Trav? And how Street Bike Tommy happened was not too long after I was healing. I put in a phone call to Godfrey Entertainment and said, is Greg Godfrey there? And said, may I ask who's calling? And I didn't know what to tell the receptionist. I was kind of expecting Greg to pick up. I don't know why. And I was like, I don't know. I'm the guy, the Street Bike guy from the last DVD that wrote Street Tommy. You know, you remember the part? And I'm trying to relate with her. And I just kind of said Street Bike Tommy. Didn't really think anything of it, but Greg picked up the phone and said, so you got a nickname now? And I was like, nickname? What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, Street Bike Tommy. It's got a good ring to it. We'll go with it. So that's literally how it all happened.
Leave it to Greg Godfrey, man. That guy, I tell you what, I've only been around him a few times. I mean, I would consider him a pretty good friend, but, you know, it's one of those friends you very rarely see, but when you do, it's like stuff hits the fan, and, you know, I can, he's definitely,
I'll tell you what.
What's that?
Greg Godfrey is for sure the genuine article. If you've seen Greg Godfrey do anything on film, and it's like a cool stunt, like, picture 1,000 other things that happened in the background that you'll never see because he just did it. There's so much stuff that he did just in the back of filming.
Yeah.
Like, didn't tell anybody he was going, didn't tell anybody what he's doing, and he's such a loose cannon. He's out there just hucking anything and everything always.
Well, and the guy's legit on a dirt bike. Like, I mean, he's got some legit, some legit pedigree there. And I just laugh. I mean, my favorite story was I was up at Ken Block's. We were doing some stuff last December for an anniversary show. And obviously, if I'm in Park City, you know, and I've got Block there, and you got to get Godfrey involved, right? So Godfrey comes over. Yeah. And Block's got like a conference call to take and stuff. So me and Godfrey are shooting the bull, and we go back into the shop. And this was right after he had dropped that all-wheel drive Mustang Unicorn, right? And so that thing's sitting there, and it's in every magazine cover, automotive magazine cover. Everybody wants a piece of this, right? And there's a couple of mechanics there, and it's a down day, and it's a couple weeks before Christmas, you know, and they're mellowing out. Block's in meetings and stuff. Godfrey starts pulling out money, dude, and he's trying to bribe these guys to give him the keys and let him take this car. And these guys are like fearing for their job, and Godfrey's seriously like in the thing behind the wheel with $100 bills, like, give me the keys, let me drive this, you know. And it was he's like, I promise I won't hurt it. He's like, I just want to scare the crap out of Ken. And it was so funny because it was like total Godfrey, and it didn't matter how much money he threw, those guys were fearing for their jobs. They weren't going to do it, but it was so funny because it was just in the moment. He's like, I'm going to scare the crap out of Block, and he's just like, let's go. And it was just comedy.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that is Godfrey fully. If only somebody would have told him it doesn't even need keys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was, dude, it was just, it was choice. But, Nitro Tour, I mean, you guys getting ready to kick things off. It's going to be a busy fall for you. I know, September, you just, Industrial Awesome is now officially open for business, right?
Yes, sir. www.industrialawesome.com. Pick up all your apparel today. It's been a long time in the making, man. Like, the reason why I even did it was I've never really had any real, like, truly serious money sponsors over the years, just because, you know, I'm a great billboard, but nobody takes me seriously, like, as far as, you know, they want an athlete, they want a Travis, they want a Jolene, you know, people that are actually really good at their craft. You know, I'm just really fun to watch. So I've always had trouble with sponsors. And a friend of mine in Australia a couple years ago was like, well, why don't you do your own thing? I was like, what do you mean? It's like, you know, just start your own brand. And I was like, well, it just seems like a lot of work, and I'm super lazy, you know?
Yeah.
So they took it upon themselves, and they actually started the company, Industrial Awesome, and the website, and just said, hey, buddy, we did the legwork. Here you go. Start your brand. And it's how I started a while ago. But been trying to get the shirts made and printed and stocked up in a factory and all that stuff, and it's really exciting to have that out right now.
Yeah, well, and I know, you know, I've seen, you know, you posting about it for quite some time, but you got to be kind of cool to finally have it up off the ground, up and running, and, you know, have your own brand. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm a little bit more. I'm like super excited mostly about seeing what people are doing with it, because I'm actually holding a contest right now where I'll be giving away a shredder, which is that stand up, basically like a land jet ski thing. It's got tank tracks and like a jet ski, you know, neck. It's kind of funky looking, man. But I got that, and I'm giving that away. But not only am I giving it away, I'm inviting you to come to Travis's house and hang out with me while I teach you how to use it. So that's like the big prize. But the whole contest is wrapped around people doing good in the world. So all you have to do is get yourself a picture of you doing something awesome and presenting it to the world, post it on Instagram, and, you know, hashtag IA Shredder Contest, and you could be a winner of that package. And people have been doing good things, man. I mean, I've seen dudes filling up gas tanks on the side of the road for people. One guy put together a care package for a homeless man with like deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that stuff, and hooked my man up with it. It's really nice to see people doing good and good coming of the brand. It's pretty much the whole point of it for me personally, is I want to do good with it.
Yeah, well, and I think that's cool, you know, and I know, you know, a lot of, you know, the brand is giving back, you know, and I know you've got plans to do some stuff, you know, like that, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of brands come out and it's all about, you know, let's see how much money we can make, and, you know, and that's, you know, that's the point of business, period. Yeah. But, you know, this, you know, you're about giving back, and, you know, it's definitely got, you know, some good roots to it, and I think it's kind of cool to see a brand pop up that's different, and, you know, and that's, you know, the end goal.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. I can't tell you how happy I am, because we're really not, you know, I mean, we want to turn a profit so we can operate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're going to be giving the majority of it away anyway. So that's not, the whole point is just to have fun and get people doing a lot of good for the fellow man. It's like a pay it forward type brand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I know, you know, when we were up there at Heydays, you were doing some stuff with the Shredder guys. How'd you get involved with them? Because, I mean, I've never ridden one of these, but, dude, they look like so much fun.
Dude, they're such a blast, because they go, you know, snow, dirt, mud, you name it, and it's just like the funkiest thing that anybody's ever seen, because they really don't have, you know, legs yet. They'll be for sale in the U.S. In the springtime. You can't even buy them right now. In the U.S. And I got hooked up with those guys through Jake Brown, actually, years ago at X Games. Jake had it in his hotel room, and he was showing me the shredder, and he introduced me to the owner of, you know, and creator of the thing. And man, I was flabbergasted just by looking at it. It's funky with the tank tracks and everything. It's a looker.
Yeah, well, it definitely turns your head the minute you see one. You're like, whoa, what is that, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely the coolest toy in the pits, for sure.
Yeah. So I gotta talk to you about this, man. I know you have a ton of fun out there at Pastrana Land and on tour and stuff like that. But I know last month sometime you had a couple of my boys out there giving you some driving lessons. Got to talk about your Razor experience. You and Pastrana's throwdown. I know my boys Ken and Vaughn came out and were coaching you, and you were darn close, dude.
Yeah, I got within 600ths of our bet. Yeah. So that's how close it ended up. And you know, you wouldn't believe that talking to Travis. You'd think he'd have beat me by an hour. You know, he's been talking trash ever since. Man, you want to talk about upset.
How did that whole deal come about? I mean, I've heard the story before. I know we were talking about it, but hey, you got to tell everybody. I mean, how did this whole thing come about? Because most people are like, Tommy versus Travis. I mean, you got some legit guys in Vaughn and Ken out there on your side. I mean, how did this whole deal steamroll into, you know, how did it become what it did?
Dude, let me tell you, this is how it all happens always. It's funny that we're touching base on this story because this is a perfect example of how it all always happens. It doesn't matter what it is in Nitro, this is how it goes down. So, just randomly, our favorite sushi chef from a local restaurant here in Maryland, he does like the flat top cooking, like Benihana type stuff.
Yeah.
But he's our favorite chef, and he had to go work closer to home. So he started working down, you know, in Virginia, which is quite a drive from us. But we're very loyal people, so we wanted to go see my man at his job. So we loaded up Travis's RV and drove his RV down to our guy Tony down in Virginia to his new place, his new hibachi grill. And we're eating, we're having dinner, we're getting tuned up, we're drinking drinks, and we're in the motorhome, and we have a sober driver, so there was like no point not to turn it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're having a good time, and I start talking trash like I always do. I don't know if you're noticing a pattern here.
I've never heard you talk trash, whether it be in person or on air, dude. I wouldn't believe that.
Oh, man. So I'm talking a good line of smack, like, you know, whatever, dude. I'm just as fast as you are, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, he starts, all right, well, what do you want to bet? And, like, he starts, like, rattling off all these things. And it actually started out with, I bet you a trip to the Playboy Mansion I can get within 9 seconds of you. You know what I mean? And then he was like, all right, I bet you, you know, because he's super cocky. Like, he's like, he doesn't think I can get within 9 seconds of him, so he's pretty confident. So he goes ahead and bets me a trip to the Playboy Mansion for the 9 seconds. He goes, if you get within 7, I'll pay your housing for a year. You know, that's a big chunk of money. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, that's a big number. So, and then he goes, if you get within 4 seconds, I'll give you $20,000. So with all that stuff combined, if I got within 4 seconds. So that's where the 600s comes into play. Missed it by 600s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how it happened. We're just sitting at dinner, you know, having a few drinks, and, you know, man, that firewater will get to me, man. That firewater.
I'd never believe that, right?
Yeah.
Well, how did you get Ken and Vaughn on your side, though? I mean, that's legit. You know, normally, you know, both those guys, you know, they charge appearance fees and everything else. I mean, here you go. Tommy's got Ken and Vaughn out there on his side, you know, trying to help you. You know, how did that happen? I mean, how did those dudes get tied in?
Well, you know, Ken's just a really good guy, and he happened to be in town for his rally. I believe he was the national or whatever it is.
Yeah, the GRC.
Yeah. What he's running, and that was nearby. I believe it was in Baltimore. But he swung by for a little bit. He didn't really help too much. It was more Vaughn. Vaughn showed up early. He brought over his own machine. I mean, he was serious about being my coach. And I'm not even kidding when I tell you this. When Vaughn came over, there was a section where it was a gentle right into a quicker left, and then it straightens out, but you got to dodge a tree, and then it's a nice sweeping left into a sandy corner. He showed up, and I literally dropped 20 seconds off of that section alone.
Wow.
20 seconds is substantial.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're talking 20 full seconds here. So Vaughn, he's actually a local boy. He grew up in a Waldorf area, from what I've heard. But I met Vaughn the very first time when I was on Ridiculousness. He was shooting his episode the very same time that I was.
And Vaughn, I know it was funny because I think it was, I'll have to look back, it was like a week after you guys did the whole bet. Vaughn was coming on this show. So when Vaughn was on here, we ended up talking about it. So I've got his side, but he says, he's like, dude, he's like, I got to tell you, Pastrana Land, he's like, you go there, and he's like, I'm looking at stuff, and he's like, I got out of my comfort zone in a hurry. He's like, I can see how you go to Pastrana Land, and he's like, and you start doing some stuff that you normally wouldn't be doing. He's like, because normally I'd take my razor out, and he's like, I wouldn't be hitting stuff like that. He's like, it takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, he pulled his machine off the trailer and loaded Jolene in the side pilot, and went back and started hitting the six-pack, and he was overshooting the first couple. he was nose heavy, and I was waiting to hear that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a really, really good guy.
Yeah, no, Vaughn is he's definitely good people. His wife Abby's legit too. So I know I'm trying to get Hood to call in. She's working the day job right now, but I know you guys had some fun this weekend going back there.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Hood has a ton of pepper.
Oh yeah,
that girl is a million miles a second.
Yeah,
She came out to learn how to backflip.
Oh, she's calling in right now, so we'll grab her. Hey, Amy, welcome to the air. You got Tommy and me on, and we're having some fun, and we're just getting ready to start talking about you.
What's up, gangsters? How's it going?
Doing well. We were just we're telling stories from the road, and I don't know what else. We've talked about just about everything, but we're just getting ready to start talking about Miss Amy Hood. And I think, as Tommy says, Hood's got a lot of pepper. Then you call in. It was like your ears were burning.
Oh shit! Oh, pardon me.
Oh well, there's an FCC edit right there.
Yeah. It's funny. I haven't beeped once yet.
Yeah, I know. Hood calls in, and 30 seconds later, we're beeping stuff for the FCC. Golly, man.
I'm sorry. What can I say? I'm excited.
So, I mean, Tommy was just saying, I guess, how did this thing come about? Because, I mean, I was there I get a text from I can't remember both of you, and all of a sudden, Hood's going back to Pastrana's to backflip.
Well, yeah, it all happened for me when I met Hood, and she was rad, like super rad chick, running Terracross, and that was my first exposure. And I started following her on Instagram, saw her hitting ramps right after we left the Terracross. I was like, man, you're hitting ramps, so why don't you come down and backflip that thing?
And of course I said yes. I mean, you can't say no or something like that. But it's pretty funny because I was telling Tommy, like, I'm surprised I've even kind of got that stuff because, I come from a strictly racing background. So I try to keep my wheels on the ground. Like, I don't want to go upside down. That is totally the opposite of what I try to do when I'm at the racetrack, to be honest. And I don't know, just from racing forever, I'm a very cautious rider. Like, I really, really try not to kind of push the limit too far because I want to have a successful season. I want to, make it from race one to the end. So I've been pretty cautious, and I've always, had to work my way up to doing some of the jumps, unlike some of the guys who have no brains and more balls, who just go out and do their thing and don't really think of anything about it. I can't afford having a couple broken legs for my season. So I've always just been a really cautious rider. And then, this is probably the first year I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I've raced long enough where, like, I need to try something new. I'm getting bored. I just want to hit big jumps. I want to do something crazy. And and they always say, like, once you do one big jump, you can do them all. And I was down in the States in Millville, and I did big catapult and then uphill triple. And then from that point on, I was like, I just want to hit every jump now. And then just last week, a friend of mine invited me over to his house, and he has a bunch of ramps. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to try this out. And I did. And when we pulled the ramp back to 70 feet, and now I did a backflip. So I don't know. I guess it progressed pretty quickly. Hit ramps one week and do a backflip the next. Like, I don't know what else is there.
So next up,
the door is wide open.
Yeah, I know. So you've done it into the pit now. So the next is what, a fly out? Like on dirt, right?
I know. Actually, I just got hit up by. Oh gosh. Well, I'll try like wood chips before. A friend of mine. It's funny now that I posted that. Like my DM is just going insane with all these freestylers hitting me up, being like, "Yo, you should come over here. Come to my house, or I'll teach you how to do this." I'm like, oh god, I don't know if I'm ready to start a freestyle career yet.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's no. I'm proud of you, Hood. That's legit. I mean, I've gone upside down on a BMX bike, but never on a dirt bike. So I know how it is though. Just it's all about the commitment. But the first time going upside down, I mean, it's it plays with you. It plays with your mind until you do it once, and it's like, that was easy.
Dude,
let me go ahead.
To jump in the foam pit. I was not even allowed to test run. It was like, okay, the first time you go, you got to try. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like that's the best part is you don't want to mind.
Hood definitely came out swinging. She no practice jumps, never hit the pit before. Next thing you know, she's turning it upside down. Literally almost did it the first time, man. It was insane.
Nice.
No, it was fun. I had a good teacher. What can I say? Tommy and Bruce walked me through the whole thing. I felt really comfortable. And I don't know. I guess I'm over my commitment problems. I've always had a hard time committing to anything in my life, and now I think I'm ready.
Oh, jeez. But it was definitely fun times. I forgot Bruce was out there. Bruce, gosh, we've had to get him on air sometime. I've been working at that for 2 years. I don't know, Bruce, if you're listening, buddy, we need to dial you in, my friend.
He's 10 feet from me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Jolene and I have talked forever, and I don't know. It just never has quite put it together. But we'll have to get Bruce on here ASAP, I think.
Yeah, I'll tell him he's literally right here. He's enjoying the catering
nice.
that the TV crew just showed up with. It's not as good as it was when you were here. Let me be honest, because it's cold cuts.
Oh, no, not into that.
See, when Amy was here, there was really bomb pizza. There was Famous Dave, Chipotle one day. Yeah, so she was here for the good stuff. This is just cold cuts today. We're shooting with Nerf.
No, I don't. No. I mowed down like 4 cornbreads. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
The catering's pretty good around here.
Yeah. So what's up next for you, Tommy? Obviously kicking off the tour. When's that kick off?
Tour kicks off October 8th, Verizon Center in D.C., and then it just goes from there, man. This is a fast one. We're back-to-back shows. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. I know Hood's going to see you up in Winnipeg. I'll see you when you're down here in Arizona. So, you guys are definitely making the tour if you're going to hit both of our stops, man. It's a full-blown North American tour for sure.
Yeah, when I show up all haggard, thinking of tour bus, I'm going to apologize for that right now.
Oh, it's totally understandable. I got to give you guys your tour buses are pretty fun. I was actually able to check it out in Phoenix, and I think you guys have a lot of fun on your buses.
Yeah, we got it pretty good. I'll tell you, I got the last couple tours I've had a pretty sweet video game console, so I get pretty good at like Grand Theft and all that stuff.
Yeah. Got to kill a lot of time in between, so yeah, for sure. Well, you got anything for Tommy? He and I have been talking for a half hour, Hood. You got to have something for Tommy.
I don't know yet. I'm excited to bring him. That he's coming to Winnipeg, so it'll be pretty rad. I can show him around my hometown. I mean, he's only in for like a day and a night, but I mean, you could get a lot of crazy stuff in a night here in Winnipeg. There's so much to do. It's pretty awesome. And, yeah, I'm excited to see the show here, too. I've never been to a Nitro Circus show, so I think I'm in for a wild ride. It'll be fun.
Hey, man, Amy's so good at them backflips, and she's going to mess around. We're going to put her on the bus, take her with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yes. I can just be the spirit animal. I will be the Nitro spirit animal.
Oh, man.
Well, if you ever
take my job.
Yeah, if you ever need a...
Hey, I am going to be working on landing that flip so you guys can actually bring me on tour and I can do some cool stuff. So.
No.
I'm down.
You're going to land the flip.
Yeah,
I feel like I've overcome a huge step. Like, it's not even doing the trick. It's having the confidence and, like, the faith to just go and do it. Like, that, once you kind of unlock that key in that door, I mean, I just feel like now, like I said, like the door is wide open. I'm like, what's next? Like, what else can I do? It's just that overcoming that first step is so huge, and now I kind of feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Well, you did it with ease.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like once I did it a couple times on the 110, I was like, okay, this is a little boring now. Like now I got to try the big bike. But it kicks the crap out of you. Like I was hurting so bad on my flight home yesterday. I felt like a 75-year-old man. Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't.
Yeah, no more.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Nice. Well, we'll definitely be there for round 2. I think we got to do some radio back there for round 2 or something because I want to try my hand at flipping, and Hood's got to do it to dirt. So I think we definitely got something to work forward towards. So
I'll tell you what, for both of you guys, it's open door.
You guys don't have like a wood chip?
Yeah, we got. It's called mulch.
Oh, yeah, mulch. I didn't see it there, so I didn't know that you guys had one.
They don't have ground in Winnipeg. It's always covered in snow. She doesn't know these things, man. You can't see mulch in Winnipeg. It's all white.
Sweet. Hey, you guys got the wood chipper down there.
Down there, hey, we got the wood chip, boy.
So, nice.
Don't make fun of me. My Canadian ways. Hey, you guys are pretty much like half Canadian. Half the people on your tour are from somewhere else, and I mean, Jolene and Bruce are Canadian. So come on, you hang out with Canadians all the time.
It's funny how America our show is and how America is not. We have quite a bit of Aussies. We've had French riders, South African riders. It's insane, but yeah, we do have a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the Canadians are crazy.
Yeah, it's one thing I've always thought was pretty cool about the show. Actually, having been there, you guys, you embrace obviously Travis's, and you diehard Patriots, but you guys embrace the other, the other nations and the other riders and where they're from, and it's always been. I thought that was cool because it becomes a part of the show, and you guys definitely embrace, that, and Travis and you guys, the tour has been said, hey, we have the best action sports athletes in the world, and I really think Nitro, it's true. I mean, it's from all over the world. It's just not a group of American riders. It's people from all walks of life, globally.
It really is a beautiful thing when it comes down to that, man. And to be able to be as cultured as the tour has brought on to us, it's I would have never in a million years told, pinch me, man. I'm a drywall hanger from Shadyside, and I've traveled the world. I got friends in every continent. I mean, it's insane. I would have never thought that shooting DVDs with Travis back in the day would have led to this.
Yeah, it's, I feel you, you know what I mean? It's, at some point, I look at myself and I've traveled, all over the place doing radio and racing. And I'm like, I'm a small town kid from, I went to high school and there was 100 people in my graduating class, and here I am, jetting off all over the country and, on TV and radio and driving stuff I never thought I would have the opportunity to. So I get pinching you, you know what I mean? It's sometimes you look at what you've done and you're like, it's just surreal,
Hey, I tell you what, man. When a star shines bright, it's hard to look away.
Yep, for sure. So, you got anything for him, Hood? Before we let him go, I know they got some filming going down there. And,
no, I'm good. I mean, I just saw the guy yesterday, and I just miss everybody already. I kind of want to be back there. Like I hate being in Winnipeg. Yeah. It's nice to come home once in a while, but it's kind of turning into winter here, so it's terrible. The Mondays are crazy. Yeah. I always got to go back to reality. So.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, we miss you too. We need that firecracker back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'll be back soon for sure. As soon as you guys are done tour. Well, first we're gonna come to Winnipeg, and then we'll go on some adventures. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna go jump out of planes, me and you.
Yep, I've never jumped out of a plane, so oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'll just have to wear some Depends because I'm sure I'm just gonna it's gonna be an experience. That's for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tommy. We'll talk soon, my friend. And, we'll I guess Hood will see you in Winnipeg. I'll see you in Phoenix. And we'll definitely have to get back together in Maryland after the first of the year and do some radio or something and have some fun.
Absolutely. You better believe it, man. Open door policy.
All right, buddy. Well, you take it easy. Stay safe and have fun kicking off this tour.
And I'll see you
guys,
soon.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
Believe it.
A couple weeks.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
All right. Well, it was great having Tommy on air, Amy. Him and I we covered pretty much the full gamut before you called in. And, I know you're awful busy today coming home from, definitely breaking down some walls.
Yeah, I know. It was such a crazy weekend. It's so surreal. Like, it feels like finally all your hard work is slowly starting to pay off once you start to be able to check those things off your bucket list. And, I mean, who doesn't want to do a backflip into Travis Pastrana's foam pit? But, people don't think that's actually possible and that's actually ever going to happen. So it's just really cool that, I got invited down by Tommy and got the experience. And it was so cool being down there because everybody's just one big family and everyone's there to support each other. And, people are, like, pulling me out of the pit and hooking me up and, giving me confidence to go and hit it. And it was just really, really cool. And it brings the world in a little bit because, a lot of people look at these athletes and, the whole Nitro crew as these big, celebrity figures, and they are. They truly are, one in a million characters and people and athletes. But they're just so humbling and so cool and down to earth. And, I can say now that I just got a whole bunch of new friends and, some new family members because, that's how it is there. That's their culture. It's one big family. So it's really, really cool. And I dig that about people. Like, that's the cool thing about this industry is where you can find the good people because, like we've talked about before, it gets a little hard once you get a little farther up there. People become a little less cool sometimes.
Yeah, it's one thing that's interesting. You and I are, at similar places in our lives and, in careers, and it's interesting. It's the truth. The farther up the ladder you climb, and neither one of us are saying we're at the top of the ladder by any means, but
No.
It's interesting how how people change and and all of a sudden you've got hands out and people grabbing at you and things like that, and it's great to find. I know you found it back there, and Jolene was the first person on Nitro I met and got to be friends with, and it seems like but the door opens up and it's like you're part of the family now, and one of those riders goes down and hurts themselves or they're sick, and it's it's like I feel like, hey, that's a good friend of mine, and it's just
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. So
Yeah.
But definitely, definitely stoked for you. And I know you were awful busy today because you had such a big weekend, so you can't hang out long with us on air today. But definitely want to say proud of you, and hoping to be part of when you're there going to dirt.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna make it happen. Not really too sure my parents want it to happen though, because I called them I called them on my way home, and I'm talking to my mom and dad on FaceTime, telling them about my trip and my experience. And I'm like, I feel pretty comfortable on the 110, Dad. Like, I really want to try it to dirt. He's like, no. I mean, if you go into a foam pit, you screw up, it's okay. You screw up one time in the dirt, and, there's broken bones ready to be had. And I'm like, Dad, shut up. Like, don't even give me that. So it's pretty funny. I mean, again, I'm their daughter. They're their only child who happens to be a daughter. And I'm completely understand how they can be a little bit worried about their daughter flipping motorized vehicles, in the air onto dirt. So, but like I said, I felt really, really comfortable on the 110. I wish I had a little bit more time on the big bike, but it kicks your butt a little bit. I mean, even if you kind of land, you don't necessarily land on your head. You are landing into the foam, but the bike kind of pile drives you, and you're using all these muscles you don't really typically use when you're racing. And I was pretty sore the next day. I didn't want to even look at that foam pit. So.
Yeah. Well,
now I know why those freestylers are in such epic shape, because you have to be, because it wears you out pretty quickly. So I got a whole new outlook on the freestyle motocross industry and, what kind of athletes and in shape they have to truly be. So, wow. Eye-opener.
Yeah. Well, and yours was a cram-packed deal. A lot of people, when they learn them, they spread it out over a few days. I mean, you were literally fly in, you had a day to do this and, do it. And then, it was definitely a fast forward for you for sure.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, like, I still can't believe I did it. Like, it was one of those just like, okay, you're here. You can't not do this. You're going to be known as the biggest wiener in the whole entire world if you show up at Travis' house wanting to backflip and you don't backflip. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So, I just sucked it up and I did it. I committed. And I also got a tattoo to remember my weekend from in Travis's bar. So
adding some more ink. Adding some more ink. All right. We will. Yeah, I know. Definitely is, and it'll be fun to see the progression of this and see you finally do it to dirt. But I think you're definitely well on your way to making it happen for sure.
I would like to, but again, no freestyle career. We'll just keep it all in fun, just for fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I still want to win a couple championships now and then, so I got to stay in one piece.
Yeah, not looking at adding Supermans to the repertoire anytime soon, huh?
No, not necessarily. That's okay.
Nice. All right, Amy. Well, I know you are swamped today, but we'll definitely have you back next week and talk with you soon.
Yeah, sorry guys, I can't stay too long. I gotta get things rolling here, and quick stop at home, and I head out to St. Louis on Friday to visit my first Form family. I'm really excited. I mean, they are always just a blast to go and visit. You kind of get recharged and remotivated, and I really just love going to St. Louis. It's honestly one of my favorite places in the world. Like, and I've been to a lot of places, and I love St. Louis. It's so sick. I love downtown. It's the best places to eat, and obviously, like, the coolest people in the whole entire world. The first Form family is awesome. So, we'll have lots to talk about on Monday.
Yeah,
so.
well, I was just thinking, like, they have like one of the biggest stage rally events of the year, the 100-acre wood rally right outside of St. Louis that I go to every year. It's the one that Block loves and Pastrana goes to and everything. We'll have to do some tie-in with First Form or something next year around that time in February. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys would love it. I mean, they love anything with an engine and they can drive the crap out of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be a good fit.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll talk soon, Amy. Have a great rest of your day.
I will. You too.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Amy Hood talking about her backflip. That's right. My co-host is, I guess, more awesome than your co-host. Mine can do a backflip on a dirt bike. I don't know what yours can do, but I definitely know she can't or he can't top that. That's for sure. But so it makes this show fun, I go out, I drive razors, I'll drive off-road trucks, rally cars, or whatever. Come back, do radio. Amy's out shredding dirt bikes and razors and backflipping, and come back and do radio. And lots of fun here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. But we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we've got a little bit to talk about before we wrap up the show. But lots of fun so far here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris Razor products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris Razor. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And, man, it has been a fun one today as we wrap things up here on yet another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And, man, we've been doing radio here for quite some time. And, you know, I guess almost 4 years now. Got a big anniversary show coming up in December that we're going to do. I always like to blow things up with that. But actually got a tweet over the weekend. You know, and somebody was a longtime listener to the show was telling me, hey, did you know you're coming up on episode number 200? So I started looking through, and I go, well, I guess we are coming up on episode number 200. If you look through our archives, this show's possibly, I think, episode 200. But I'm only considering like Monday shows are into that 200. Like we've done well over 200 now with Rally America Radio, GRC Live Radio, and some of the other stuff we've done with Polaris. But I think we're like 2 or 3 shows I'm going to have to look back away from episode 200. So I'm going to have to get my thinking cap on and really start thinking, because episode 200, not many shows do 200 shows. So I'm going to have to get my thinking cap on and figure out what we need to do. But episode number 200, when it happens here in a few weeks, I don't even know the date that it's going to be yet, but I can promise you we are going to blow things up. So yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. But what I'm rambling on about here is I want suggestions from you, the fans that listen in each and every week religiously, and those of you who don't. Episode number 200, what should we do? I mean, you're talking about a show that's, we've been to blocks and we've done live from there, live from the Mid 400, live from Global Rallycross, live from Dirtfish Rally School. We've done Rally America events. I mean, we've been all over the place. What do you want? Episode number 200. And we've got a big anniversary show we're working on that's going to be remote. So I'll just say that. I guess you just heard it on air. I mean, we're talking about going live from Pastrana Land at some point next year. But guess, if you could handpick like 2 or 3 guests you want on air with me and Amy, or Amy and I mean, who are they? I mean, who do you want? Supercross, do you want Ryan Dungey? I mean, do you want Block? Do you want Pastrana? I mean, Deegan. Who do you want on air? I want to know. So tweet me, use the contact form on the website, message me on Facebook, direct message me on Instagram. I don't care, but I want to know who you guys want. I mean, this has always been a show, fan-driven, the people you love. I mean, obviously, it's an action motorsports-related guest, somebody that lives the life, but, who do you want? I mean, gosh, I'm just thinking about the guests. I mean, guys like Dave Mirra that we had years ago that need to come back. It's time to have Dave back. And, I mean, do you want somebody from the past we haven't talked to? Who do you guys want? So definitely hit me up in the next week or so and let me know, because I got to start building this episode number 200 that's coming up. It's been a long time coming, and I didn't even realize it. Literally, I just show up on Mondays and talk. But it took a fan pointing it out to me, and we definitely need to do something special for episode number 200, that's for sure. This was a show that, I was told wasn't going to work 4 years ago. Nobody wanted to partner with me on it. Heck, nobody wanted to, it was just there was. I mean, I think our first show, literally we had like live like 35 listeners, if I think back to the platform we were on that I don't even remember how to log into at this point. Archive, maybe we had like 400 people listen to the file as a podcast after the fact, and here we are with hundreds of thousands of people and a bunch of cool stuff working for next year. It's definitely been a surreal journey, but you guys have been part of it. So I want to know, episode number 200, who do you want to hear on air? Would love to hear from you, the fans. It's been a lot of fun. We've had some great guests over the years and been live from some tremendous venues. That's for sure. But been a fun show, man. Street Bike Tommy, the guy is to be honest with you, I met him, I'm trying to think, like 2 years ago. Jolene had us backstage at Nitro Circus. My wife and daughter and I, and we went back to the RV. Her and Tommy travel, share a bus together, and good friends. And Tommy was playing Grand Theft Auto on the bus, and got to know him, and just a solid dude. And then saw him again up there at Heydays at Terracross, and just funny. We've been texting ever since, and just a fun guy, and what you see is what you get. He's he's a down to earth, legit guy, and definitely would say he's a good friend. And then Stephen Eugenio, man, Score Trophy Truck champ. It's been a while, but definitely stoked to finally get him on air and talk about, I don't want to say young gun because, he's about my age, but it's a guy that's definitely paid his dues and finding some success in desert racing. So, lots of fun there. But GRC, man, GRC in Barbados this weekend, doubleheader down there in Barbados. So got that shootout now. Went from a landslide in Ken Block's favor to a reachable gap by Scott Speed, slingshotting up those power rankings. But, man, doubleheader this weekend. It's this is going to be very, very crucial. Obviously, we got the finale in Las Vegas, but it's going to be a crucial one. It's I don't know. I mean, we could determine a champ right now in Barbados this weekend. So if you're a Red Bull GRC fan, you want to be tuned in because this is I don't want to say it's for all the marbles, but it's going to be a huge part of all the marbles this weekend, on NBC. And then Best of the Desert, Blue Water Desert Challenge coming up. And that's my next event in the number 15. Got Rally America, the finale. Can David Higgins keep that streak alive? We got Off-Road Expo this weekend, and, can't forget Red Bull Air Race. A Red Bull Air Race coming up, and I am going to be giving away some tickets. That's right. You listeners here to the show, you followers on social media, follow me at JimBeaver15. Follow Amy Hood at AmyHood71. We have some epic ticket giveaways to do. I got a ton of tickets to Red Bull Air Race, and we're not just talking 2 tickets, we're talking 4. You can take the whole family. That coming up in Las Vegas in October, weekend after the Blue Water Desert Challenge. We're about 3 weekends away at this point, but you definitely, if you're in Vegas, Red Bull Air Race, want to be there. And Down and Dirty Radio Show is going to have you covered. We're going to give you tickets to go to the event in Las Vegas. So you definitely want to be listening in for that. You never know when we're going to give them away. We might give them away on air. Going to do a lot of social media giveaways, but you want to be following the right channels. Follow Red Bull Las Vegas. Definitely want to be following both of those accounts, especially on Instagram, and myself at JimBeaver15 and Amy Hood at AmyHood71. And if you're not already following us, shame on you. If you are, thanks. And also, all our back episodes available at downanddirtyshow.com. And, all our affiliates. We got some amazing affiliates with this show, and, lots of them, continuing to come on all the time. And definitely download our app. All the app stores got you covered with that app. We got a new one dropping here very soon. But, it's just it's been one heck of a whirlwind of a show, from the beginning, and I'm just stoked to be here each and every Monday and be able to talk with you guys. And also want to make mention, Action Figures, the movie from Nitro Circus, dropping, I believe, October 20th. So be on the lookout for that. That movie, I got to tell you, I know a bunch of groundbreaking stuff that's happened that I've been gag ordered on that's going to be in the film. So you guys definitely want to buy Action Figures, pre-buy it, get that Amazon overnight, get ready for it on iTunes. I don't care, but you want to catch Action Figures. It's going to be off the chain good. That is for certain. So, I don't know, man. I got a big week ahead of me. Got some meetings out in Los Angeles, and I got to tell you, if they go good, you guys are going to be the first to hear about them on my social media channels. That's for sure. And, it's been a solid start to the week. My Cardinals taking the win yesterday, moving to 3-0 in the NFL. And if you're not a football fan, that's all right. But if you are an Arizona Cardinals fan, I want to know about it. So I want to know how many Cardinals fans are out there. It's always fun to know, who's who you root for on Sundays, because I know, in between prepping for the show, I'm always watching some football, and my Arizona Cardinals, man, they are on point this year. Carson Palmer, man, he's looking a little Tom Brady-ish, man, trying to set some records, man. That boy is definitely throwing for some yards and some touchdowns. And Larry Fitzgerald, the guy they thought was over the hill, he is back from the dead, man, and Larry looking like his Super Bowl form of the past, that's for sure. But man, it's been a fun show today. Don't forget to follow at Jimmy15 at AmyHood71, and and tweet me. I want to know, episode number 200, who you want to see on air as guests. Get that app, and big shout out to Polaris RZR for all their support. Check out that new Polaris RZR Turbo, now on lots at a Polaris dealer near you. General Tire, and check out that brand new General Tire MT. I've actually got one sitting in my office right next door to the studio, and it's definitely just a tremendous tire. Can't wait to get my new Razor out on a set of those General Tire MTs. Rigid Industries, and big shout out to them. And they just dropped a new line of Polaris Razor mounts, so definitely check those out. Dirtfish Rally School, and if you're tuning in on the web on downanddirtyshow.com, you can always get those. Discount codes, 10% off any class at Dirtfish Rally School right there at downanddirtyshow.com. UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino. Wakeboard Island still open here, closing down pretty soon for the winter months, but you can still have some time to go and check out Wakeboard Island, Arizona's only wakeboard cable park. Jmar Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and Intense Tees. Been a fun show, and thanks to Street Bike Tommy, Amy Hood, Stephen Eugenio, and all of you for listening in each and every week. We've got a couple of really great shows coming up, and definitely looking forward to doing them, and having some more amazing guests on air. Once again, thanks to all of you for tuning in. Have a great week, and as always, game on.